Hello and welcome to the Mike Guarneri podcast. This is episode number 41. Today I want to discuss something I discovered today, and another system related to it. And there's only so much out there to think about, look at, and consider. So many systems and methodologies, and it's just overwhelming at times. So I'm not surprised that there was one I haven't heard about yet, despite all my research. So the one I already knew about is called I'm sorry, Gene Keys. Gene, Gene Keys, and it was recommended to me by a friend. It's a system that uses astrology, the I Ching, off-label use, not in a traditional way. And honestly, I don't know what else. In order to generate what they call a holographic profile, hologenetic profile. And what I don't like off the top about the gene key system is the calculations or whatever is going on to create your hologenetic profile. It's it's all proprietary. And when I look at things using my logic and analytical abilities and skepticism, I want to be able to take it apart and rebuild it again. It helps me understand how it works, and if I can replicate the results, it gives me comfort level. And I can't do that with gene keys. It's all proprietary. So that kind of bothers me, especially when the guy who created it, Richard Rudd, very prolific writer. Supposedly the Gene Keys books are fantastic, but just by his story on the Gene Keys website, he seems a little off the wall, but that's just my opinion of how he seems. But not knowing that how to what the formula is to generate the report that you're going to spend possibly years on analyzing and working through doesn't sit well with me. I'm looking at astrology. It's one of the things I'm learning about. I'm not up to it yet. First, I want to learn how to read the charts and truly understand them. But then I've got books about how to calculate it. Back before computers, astrologers made charts by hand. I want to do that to get a even better understanding and make sure I can replicate the results I'm getting from these softwares. Can't do that with gene keys. Don't like that at all. So right now, once you get your hologenetic report, there's a book called Green Keys. And that's basically literally a key. It has it decodes the information that's on your hologenetic report and tells you what it means. And there's 64 gene keys matching um the 64 in the I Ching, and it seems pretty interesting, but I don't know. But the thing is, just having your free hologenetic report, they give it to you for free, that you don't know how it was calculated. Then you have the Gene Keys book to kind of get what the symbols mean, the translation. And then there are other books that lead you, I think there's three of them or two, I forget, that lead you on self discovery through your gene keys. And I understand they're fantastic. My friend thinks very highly of them. That's high praise as far as I'm concerned. So I will try it out eventually at some point just to see. I'm open minded. I'll experiment with anything. And considering, Gene Keys is derived from astrology and seemingly other mystical things I've heard, but don't know if it's true. It connects to ancient practices. So I will check out the Gene Keys at some point when I have time. But right now, it's all the way on the way, way back burner. since I can't recalculate it or truly understand it. So today I discover another system that, like I didn't mention, like the gene keys, um, was invented in the 1980s. They're not very old, but what it pulls from is very old and ancient. This other system that I just stumbled upon today, and maybe should have stumbled upon it earlier, is called human design. And human design uses aspects of astrology, the I Ching, once again off label use, not what I Ching is intended for, Kabbalah, Vedic philosophy, bunch of different components there that all go back to ancient times. Now, although it was a little hard for me to find, I did find the formulas and methodology for recreating your human design chart. That gives me comfort. That way I know I'm not wasting my time. Once I get my chart from the automated systems online, once I get my chart and understand how to read it and what it means, I know I can go back, basically having deconstructed it, understand in detail each component part, and rebuild it and see if I can come back to what the computer generators show. That's a huge thing. That gives me huge comfort. Obviously, it actually working and having some sort of meaningful answers is nice too. So I'm more likely to try the human design out sooner than later. And there are many resources, many books and online sources to read your human design chart, which is very nice because there's many pieces to it. There's centers and then keys and I think and gates and lines and there's a lot of stuff. So it's nice that there's a lot of resources for trying to, interpret all that and put it together. So purpose wise, from what I understand, the gene keys is more about your higher purpose, determining it, working through your shadows and whatnot to get the ability and where you need to be to figure out your higher purpose and achieve it. That's my understanding. Whereas the human design, it's supposed to help you figure out what your talents are and what I guess your weaknesses are and what exactly to do to amplify those talents and minimize those weaknesses in order to live a fulfilling life, to live your best life. So both green keys and human design seem to me to be going for what I keep saying, which is foundation, foundation, and foundation. You need a strong foundation. Any other mental health practices are going to come crumbling down if you don't build them on a strong foundation. And both these practices, both these systems, human design and gene keys, they're helping you further learn about yourself and consider things and kind of wash out the bad stuff and keep the good stuff in a way. So I see these systems as complementary. Perhaps it makes more sense to do the human design first and then the gene keys. That's probably how I would do it because, like I said, the green keys is in the way back burner right now. So if anybody's ever used either one of these systems and I have something wrong, said I'm just learning this stuff now. I haven't even started going into each of these systems in any detail. If anyone's used either of these systems and I have anything wrong, please let me know. And if you want, please, I would appreciate it if you share your experiences with whatever system or in your results and what you think of it. So, on that note, I just want to remind everybody again, my usual daily reminder. If you haven't already done so, please go over to MikeGuarneri.com and sign up for my email list. I don't want you to miss any information about my upcoming book and other good things to have in the pipeline. If you've already signed up for the email list, thank you very much. And they'll be receiving something in your email, hopefully sooner than later. So the description below or on the side has the link to sign up for my newsletter, a link to my homepage. So that's about it for today. Until tomorrow, stay well.